So I have been working on Emperor McLovin here, and apparently, here he is, riding his lion. Apparently there's an advantage to riding a lion. I came across this yesterday, actually, but I thought he was able to move in the desert like this because he had unicorns with him. And running unicorns with you changes your unit's movement type to terrain master or something like that, pretty much. If you're rocking unicorns, terrain ain't a thing. And that's what I figured was going on here, but right now he has the flyer units equipped, which, by the way, are absolutely phenomenal. Their stats are so crazy and beefy, these mechanical flying knights, but they don't do anything for your hero's ability to run over terrain like unicorns do. So that means that this guy, he can move much better than any other cavalry unit. Even Yusuke. Yusuke's moving up 2 blocks. Kurama floats, I believe. Josh is only moving 2 blocks here in the desert. Sakura, 1, 2, 3. She does have a pair of Apex boots on. You know, it is what it is. But what's cool about this, since this guy can move up so far, you know what? Let's actually do something with him. I just recently obtained his 3C, so that's pretty cool. I have Emperor Livonia here to buff people and give them a couple more blocks of movement. He's very useful just for that. I think right here this might be the difference between hitting a few people with an AoE or maybe just one. But before we throw any AoEs, let's actually faction buff ourselves to do more AoE damage. Joshua's a character I need to work on. I need to get his 3C. But for right now, we have Rose Whip Thorn, and we have his 3C. Let's actually throw his 3C. Damn, I'd love to see that mage come out now. And in fact, Sakura has a 3C to throw as well. Awesome. And Yusuke can just power up and be slow. Oh. Oh, cool. I like that. It does fixed damage now before they actually assault Kurama. Okay, not just at the very end after they attack. So that's very cool. What's even more cool is I have another AoE to throw back to back. And you're giving more chances for clock to proc and for dimensional jewel if you have that on him, which I do have that on him. I'm very fortunate. Oh, man. Well, you know what? It's no big deal because that mage, I don't think that mage could do anything to Kurama. He'll kill it. He's kind of really good at that. Oh, Yusuke can take somebody out. Shabam. Just such awesome stats on Yusuke. And this is why I bring Josh, because you still hurt somebody from a distance. Great AoE. Well, yeah, he does have some great AoE range. He also has good fixed damage, which I really enjoy about Joshua. Especially when you constantly keep getting crits. And Joshua can actually have a higher crit than Sakura. I've seen it before. You have to be wary of that. Dude, let's go into super mode. Will that increase the distance of everything? As far as his fixed damage goes, we'll see. So yeah, Joshua will be the next character that I work on, you know, getting that 3C. This is what I love about Yusuke. Him being able to alter his range, obviously from going into Majin form. That and the sprite is amazing. He literally is missing one sock. Like, he powered up so hardcore that one of his socks blew off his foot. and the other one stayed there. But just his super high attack, the fact that he can hit people from like 3-4 blocks away sometimes, and he has some stuff built in where if he gets the killing blow, it's going to, like, he has a built-in clock in some of his abilities, like Spirit Gun. If you kill somebody with Spirit Gun, it takes, I think, 3 off the cooldown, something like that. He can continuously crank damage out like that, and he's just one of my favorite collab characters. It's nice to see him shining now that I'm unlocking these 3 Cs for heroes. I went through, I got Bernie, Alta Mueller, Kurama. We just adjusted him. We put the Dimensional Jewel on him. This was the best intelligence stat I could roll on this thing. It's only 8%. It's giving him some crit though. His skill's a D, so it's not like Kurama's a crit-based character at all. But like I said, that was the best roll I could get. I'm just happy enough to have the Dimensional Jewel, which has a chance to reduce cooldowns. So it's nice when clock procs and when this thing procs, and you can throw another one of those nasty AoEs and reset all that fixed damage around him. Especially when he's transformed, you can get him to a critical point there where he's just dishing out so much damage to everybody around him that it's crazy if he can keep throwing those AoEs. Plus all the fixed damage that's being applied, and he just looks cool. I worked on running a little bit. She's total power over, well, she's not over 9 effing thousand, she's over 8 effing thousand, just barely. So all I did was increase her intelligence a little bit. I saw some places where I could work on her a little bit. Sakura has stayed the same at 7716. You know, there are higher power level Sakuras in this one. But last time I checked, and this was a while ago, you might have a higher power Sakura than me, but mine has a higher attack and higher skill, which means that if they ever meet in combat, mine will attack first and will probably kill yours first. Really, that's Sakura's weight in salt, is her attack and her skill stat. If her skill is higher than yours, she gets to attack first. If you have a higher skill than hers, that ability gets turned off and she literally becomes a whole different type of character. So that's why I was saying earlier Joshua can have a higher crit than Sakura, because I've actually seen it. I pay attention to these things. That Joshua had the ability to attack my Sakura and turn her attack first ability off. That is why I pay attention to those things. Moving on, Alta Mueller got upgraded. He's at 7705. Look at this weird ass build. Look at this weird ass build. This is why I love this game. I have this strange steel build for Alta Mueller, where he's like a damage dealer that flies around. He's mobile. He does pretty decent damage, but really he's hard to kill. I've made this one hard to kill. 10% damage reduction goes so effing far on Alta Mueller because he stacks damage reduction on top of that with his talent. Right before entering battle, attack increased by 10%. Physical damage taken decreased by 5%. Last 4 turns can be stacked up to 4 times. So he can get 20% damage reduction just from stacking. It's going to automatically stack up just like his attack. So he's going to get 20% damage reduction. Let's see. Sorry. The rune set gives you another 10%. So we're at 30% damage reduction, right? And then plus, when you attack him, this will lower the damage taken by 40%. It has, for your first hit. So the first time Alta Mueller gets hit, he has 70% damage reduction on, between last rites and his 30% that is just naturally on him at all times. He also has, of course, the crown to make his buffs last one more turn so he can hold on to his damage reduction and stuff longer. Right? Oh yeah. And of course, Alta Mueller has access to Raging Thunder, which gives you 15% more damage reduction for 2 turns. Right, because it's attack a single enemy dealing 1.5 times damage, which is cool, but it also grants Wind Ride before battle when hit points is above 50%. Damage taken from melee attacks is reduced by 15%. So he's floating. Oh, he's always floating some crazy damage reduction. At least mine is, right? You get him buffed up. He's up to 20% damage reduction. With the steel rune set, he's up to 30%. And if this kicks on, he's up to 45% damage reduction. And if you attack him and he's at like full health and the ability from his armor procs, he's at 75% damage reduction, I do believe. It's something stupid, ridiculous like that, right? And on top of that, his attack goes up too. He becomes pretty strong. And he has a Gale ability, which lets him act again. And his 3C is just phenomenal. Increases his damage by a lot and just makes him a lot more fun to run. So, still working on his special class here. And finally, I think the last hero, we're working on Shaltir because this one is so strong at 7,600 power. She is so powerful, it's ridiculous. We also got Coltair at over 7K, and we're working on Deedlit, who's at 7,607. Of course, can't wait to see what she can do. But the last hero I've empowered has been the Toguro Bros. And man, we need some more shards for them. 36 out of 150. I really want that last star on him because I think it affects how he stacks up, right? Because his talent is super simple, right? After taking action, attack and skill increase by 1.5%, but that can be stacked up to 15 times, right? So, 1.5% 15 times is like what? 22.5% or something stupid. So you're getting 22.5% more to your attack and skill. That's pretty huge. And his skill, it's not like a D stat. It'd be nice if it was a B stat, but it's a C stat. It's a C stat. You can work on it a little bit, and his attack and his skill will increase. If you add 20% to that, he actually has a decent chance of cranking out a critical hit here and there, which makes him a spicy attacker. But ultimately, he's going to have a super high attack, which this one does. And this, I've been playing around with it. This gives him some lifesteal from his attacks. While this is active, it lasts for 2 turns. Before battle, you start healing yourself like 1.2 times your attack. That is very, very useful. It's almost like a little mini Elwyn thing that he's got built in. And clearly this guy's not Elwyn. So for him to be able to heal himself up without a healer there, even if you have to be crafty about it, is just super absurd. Because if this guy uses tactics and he evades and runs a little bit, he becomes so much stronger as the fight goes on. He can eventually get himself healed all the way back. And he has an ability that has a 30% chance to decrease the attacking enemy's range by 1. Which means that if you can only attack 1 block away, which most things can, he's going to make you be able to attack 0 blocks away. And effectively, you won't be able to hit him. Right? If an archer is shooting him, he has a chance to be like, nope, archer, you can only shoot 1 block now instead of 2. So I'm 2 blocks away and now you can't reach me. So he just has a chance to completely just negate people's attacks on him. Which is awesome now that he has a chance to heal himself. He could effectively get into battle with low health, negate their attack, and heal himself off of it if he has this Flesh and Steel Blast activated, right? And that is just awesome. If a bunch of things like go into him to try to finish him off one by one, he's going to catch a heal before every time he gets into combat. And with his super beefed up stats, running around with like 2,000 attack, he's just phenomenal. His transformation's always been awesome, 120%. So he works very well now. I was wondering if I was going to have to change his rune set around, but I like it because this lets him heal, but it will also let him kind of stay damaged at the same time. You'd actually have to see him fight and how he works. The important thing is, if I can keep him at a low health even for a turn or two while he slowly heals up, he's going to have a huge boost to his attack and his skill from the armor and the helm. And that just these bonuses with everything else, and on top of that his high stats to begin with, they make this guy hit so freaking hard that it's absolutely absurd. And then, he's also going to heal. So I'm going to be running this guy a lot more, seeing what I can do with him. Yeah, so this is pretty much what I've been doing with my account right now. Just getting some heroes caught up, running some guild stuff. After Toguro Bros, we are working on Rio here. It's because I see so much potential in him. He's right under 7,000 power right now. And then obviously between the Chibi Gundams, I'm working on both of them, but I really like how Himiko works. She's just very badass. And obviously Wedham's here. He's at 6,500 power level. For now, he's just chilling there because I still have Epsilon to get to. I mean, at least these characters are like level 70 now. And Kuyura. That. I really like this girl, how she does damage and healing. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. I really like, what she can do for Heroes of Time. Because then effectively you can run this girl with Deedlit. And that would just be nasty as hell. You would just be getting a whole bunch of crazy healing and damage at the same time, because both of these girls, Deedlit's going to heal and buff everyone and then go get a crazy attacking on someone, maybe even take them out. Then this girl's going to move up and attack somebody like 4 or 5 blocks away, and then she's going to teleport back to your party and heal everybody around. It's just really, really cool. So I want to work on her too. She's over 6,000 already just from the gear I have on her. Oh yeah, that's right. I have her class all done out too. So very cool. Was just running some of these heroes in Guild War. Now I have their 3 Cs. So I can't wait to get back in there. Obviously the new Emperor character, I just changed his accessory out. So his power level is back under 5,000. But what I think is cool with him is the dragons. These things are only level 7 or 8. They already have a higher attack than the angels, at least mine. Right? And this is without the huge stat increase that they get. So I can't wait to actually fully level these things up. The fact that this guy has these mechanical flying soldier things is just absolutely awesome. He's working out great, even at a lower power level, because he doesn't need to do any like that much right now for me, other than faction buff everyone and teleport some people up, and maybe give somebody a buff. These other heroes will do all the work since they're powered up. And he's been picking up some slack here and there, killing some things off. Very impressed with this guy and how he works. Totally dig it. And that is why I've been powering all of these heroes up, because they run with this guy. Yeah, this guy's cut the line a little bit just because he's a faction buffer. I'm pretty much working on him right now, and Toguro Bros. And for the Saintess of the Ark, we're going to have to wait for a little bit. She's going to be right around 5,000 power level just for a while. And hopefully she can just help with Guild War or something like that. But other than that, that's what I'm working on right now. Lots of fun stuff in here. And I still have my Thor summon to grind out and all of that. So I wish everyone the best of luck. Here's a quick account overview of what I'm doing in here and which heroes I'm working on. And this banner's up right now. We have some time. Best of luck to everybody clearing it. If you don't get a character right now, just keep grinding things out. There's plenty of resources in this game, and I'm sure you'll get something. I always do before the banners go away. Even if I'm just throwing resources that I've grinded out, for as long as the banners stay up, and how much this game feeds its players by giving you lapis to grind, I've always been able to pull at least one hero. So best of luck to everybody, and I will see you out there.